Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my update video for the 3.15 League, Expedition League, where my starter was a Spectral Shield Throw build. And I apologize in advance. My voice is going to be fucked because I'm recording this like not even an hour after I woke up. So this is going to be a little bit rough, but we're gonna bear with it. I kind of got solidified on my build for the 3.15 League, the Spectral Shield Throw Gladiator. This is just a little glimpse at what the skill tree looks like. For leveling, I started off with Shield Crush at level 2, I guess, because you can get that from the first quest, where you kill Hillock. And Shield Crush honestly felt really good, being able to shotgun things, and it just seemed like it had really high base damage. You just had to get like a half decent shield, and it felt really good. What else do I got here? I got all my notes on my phone here, so I'm gonna go through it. So yeah, leveling did Shield Crush until I think 24 or something like that, where you do Sever the Right Hand, the quest where you kill the Blackguard. It's like before the Lunaris Temple, and he casts all the firestorms and everything. You kill that guy, and then you can get Spectral Shield Throw and just swap into that, which at the start of using Spectral Shield Throw, I really liked it because I liked being able to attack from a range, and it felt really clean with all the projectiles breaking off and the way it would fork between different enemies. The only downside to it I noticed is if there's like a really big pack, you have to shoot it a few times because, it only chains 3 times total. I gotta look and see if there's any. Actually, I could just check here. Is there any skill Spectral Shield Throw? Okay, so there's none that cause it to chain further. So, unfortunately, like that seems to be your base chain rate unless you run something like a chain gem, which might be worth using. I might try looking into that, because overall I'm just going to turn this build into like a map farming build. And then I'm going to create another build for bossing, probably a miner. I gotta decide which skill I'm going to go with though. I would really like to try it out because it seems like it has really high base damage and that you can scale it up really well if you put some, like, a little bit of investment into it. So I'm really interested in that. But yeah, the rest of leveling seemed pretty smooth. You just want to make sure you keep either based on whatever build you're doing, like if you're doing an evasion based build or an armor based build, you want to make sure that your shield has high armor or evasion. Because otherwise it starts to feel really bad. Like at the start I had a shield that had 200 some armor, which felt really good for like the first 2 or 3 acts, and then it started to really fall off. And then I just upgraded to a shield that had, I think, like 600 or 700 armor, and it felt infinitely better. Like it was unreal, the difference. So you just want to make sure you keep up on your high armor, high evasion shields. Alright, what's next? I got the right here. Yeah, this is my actual build as it is right now. I did move to blood magic. Mana was feeling really rough with this build, and I'm not sure how it's going to feel once they do the mana changes that are going to be implemented. They said at like the end of this week or something it might feel significantly better, but right now the mana felt really, really bad. I was constantly popping a mana flask, and I'll be honest, I just don't like doing that. It just seems like a real pain in the ass, and I don't want to be just on top of my mana flask constantly. I was looking at this node here for some just additional life regen. The increased damage to the skills that cost life, I'm not sure how that works with Spectral Shield though. Like, obviously it would increase the average damage, which would be really good for our life leech, but I'm not sure what sort of impact that would have on the bleed. So I gotta figure that out still. What other things am I looking at? I was looking at speccing out of life leech and moving to life regen, because life leech honestly feels really bad. Like, our bleed damage feels really good, but our on-hit attack rate is really poor because of, where is it here? Because of deadly ailments. The 80% less damage with hits hurts really bad. It makes it so life leech just, it doesn't seem to work. This move to blood magic is gonna only be a temporary thing. I honestly just did it because the mana felt really bad, and I heard a bunch of the players that were using Spectral Shield Throw decided to move to blood magic instead. So I figured I'd give it a shot, and I was able to use Malevolence with Mortal Conviction, which helps our damage out, like helps our bleed damage out quite a bit. So what is it? Yeah, it gives us like 18% more bleed damage, which is kind of nuts. So this is just temporary. Eventually I want to get, as you can see in this one, I want to get a Devouring Diadem. Right now it's really expensive and I don't have that kind of currency. I haven't really implemented any of my money making methods yet. I'm just trying to level up my character, work on the Atlas a little bit, and try and get that figured out. But once I get a Devouring Diadem, I will be able to run, where is it here? Herald of Purity, Malevolence, Summon Skitterbots with a Enlighten level 3 gem. So that'll be significantly nicer damage-wise and give us a big boost. One of the biggest issues with this build here was that the Runic Hatchet, which I copied over from another person on PoE Ninja just because they had really high bleed damage and I wanted to compare what the difference between our two builds was if I was using the same weapon as them. And it ends up with me having like roughly 200,000 more bleed DPS. But with this hatchet, it counts the 60% bleeding chance, 60% chance for bleeding inflicted with this weapon to deal 100% more damage. And the problem with that is we don't use this weapon to actually apply our damage. We're using our shield. So I'm not sure if this actually applies. I know POB counts it, but I think that might be a bug when working with Spectral Shield Throw. So I wouldn't trust this damage. I'm actually just going to take this off just to see what the difference is. So yeah, it's about 700,000 damage less, or I guess 60%, that makes sense. So obviously not super great. Something you want to watch out for. The bleed DPS right now we're maxed out at 1 mil. So I'm going to look at some things to switch around to try and maybe increase that. Also, I've found so far that Unwavering Stance isn't really needed. I almost never get stunned, especially with like the cannot be stunned by hits you block. That's super nice. And already at level 77, I have what, like a 60% chance to block? Yeah, 60% chance to block. And then once I get this node here, I will have an equal spell block chance. And already this build feels extremely tanky. Like I almost never take damage, which is fantastic. It feels really good. I've never had to worry about just popping my life flask all the time. Every once in a while there's a pack that just completely crushes me, and Corrupting Blood sucks this league. Like holy shit, if I can get a Corrupting Blood immune jewel, I am picking that up immediately. Because it feels really bad. And that brings me into the next thing, which is the ailments, which is everybody's big concern this league. I spec'd out of it now, but before I was spec'd into these nodes here, just for leveling, which I'm not sure if they had an effect, but I figured it was worthwhile trying. I did the shock, the cold, and then these ones. Ignite was kind of like whatever. I just kind of left it. But eventually I want to get a Cyclopean coil is the goal. Because with the Cyclopean coil, our dexterity is higher than our intelligence, which means we can't be frozen, which is super nice. This obviously doesn't work with chill, so I'm going to have to figure out something with that. And then our strength is higher than our dexterity, so we can't be ignited. And then I just have to find a different source of shock prevention. Because without this, it's going to be a real rough time in the league. Right now, I just have a... What is it? Yeah, I have an ample Quicksilver Flask of Heat, and I use the Instilling Orb on it to make it so anytime I get frozen, this flask gets popped. Obviously, I need to still find some better flasks, like probably a Sulfur Flask or something. Like, what do I have on this build? Yeah, a Sulfur Flask. I need to look into maybe a Granite Flask. There's a few things I gotta look into still. But as of right now, this is what the end build looks like. I'm going to post a POB link in the description if you're interested in it. I'll also post a POB link to this build in the description if you're interested in it. Just so you can kind of see what's up. Obviously, going to spec out of these two nodes. They have no point in being there if I'm running blood magic. What else? I think that's it. I think that's all for my notes. Oh, right. It does feel very good as an SSF type build. I've traded for a few shields just because I'm kind of lazy. And I don't want to spend the time trying to find different shields. My filter might actually be filtering them out right now, which isn't great. I need to fix that. But basically, I just traded for 2 or 3 shields, and that was it. Then it was just fixing resist, and we were good to go. Right now, our effective HP, what is our effective HP? Pretty tiny, honestly. By the time we hit our endgame build, we get up to around 100, apparently 177,000 fire, what? Oh, because my endgame build doesn't have the full resist, so they're all supposed to be 177,000. Obviously, I switched some things around, like the, oh, it was the Nomad belt. That's what I switched around. This gives me, yeah, the full elemental resist, which means we have about 172,000 in each elemental damage that we can effectively take. I think that's honestly it. I'm running Spectral Shield Throw, Summon Stone Golem just to kind of keep up with Blood Rage, a Ancestral Protector just for bosses. I am running Reckoning with life gain on hit and Pulverize. I can throw another thing in here. It was just Life Tap that I had in there. Same with Shield Charge, was just Life Tap. So I can throw another thing in here while I'm using Blood Magic. And then Steel Skin once again, Life Tap. I can probably get rid of this and do like a cast when damage taken with my Summon Stone Golem to make sure I keep that up all the time, because I've been noticing I quite often don't have a Stone Golem up. So that's kind of the goal. But yeah, I think that's it. I'll post those 2 POB links in the description. So far the league seems like it's going really well. I'm enjoying myself. Unfortunately, can't really play a lot this week. I got a bunch of real life things to attend to. But I'll have another update for you once I hit endgame. Maps are going really good so far. I'm only in whites. I think it'll be fine for yellows. Reds, it might fall off a little bit, but we'll see. I'm going to try and get the damage up for reds and see if I can handle all the endgame content and make this work for endgame content up to tier 16s and that kind of thing. And that's it. Alright, I hope you guys have a great day. If you enjoyed the video, like the video, leave a comment down below if you notice any issues with my tree, or if you have any suggestions for things for me to try with the Spectral Shield Throw, or if you have any ideas for different builds you want me to try. Have a great day. Alright, bye.